We got a couple things to talk about. Yesterday, like we said, the headline is important, right? We went over that with web forms real briefly. So sales pages, same thing, but the headline has something really special that you need to work into it. And it's the same for your web forms, but I think bigger in sales pages, and it's called a hook. So remember we said the headline is about 80% of the page, or 80% of the effectiveness of the page? Well, a lot of that has to do with the hook. So what is a hook? It's something that's going to make the person keep reading. A lot of times you can go to a page and it's, you read the headline and it's like, yeah, that might be a good deal or whatever, but it's just not that interesting, right? So the example, and I apologize, I forget the guy who I learned this from. I forget his name right now, slips my mind, but he basically gave the analogy of kids trying to sell worms. So imagine going by and there's worms, $4, right? Something like that. Is that John Carlton? This example? I don't remember who it is. I actually don't think it's him. I think it's somebody different. So I want to sell worms. I'm a couple of kids sitting out on the sidewalk trying to sell worms to people who are going fishing. Worms, $4. Maybe, whatever. And then he uses the example of this one. Local worms catch more fish. So this is the hook, and what it is it's kind of just a little bit odd, but that's actually more interesting, right? So if you saw local worms catch more fish, and I'll try to remember the rest of it, buy 2 boxes, get the third free. Free plus a secret map. I'm sorry, can you guys in the back read this at all? Maybe I'll go type this up on the computer. Can you guys in the back read this? No? Okay. Let me type this so it's a lot bigger. But yeah, the idea is worms, $4. Instead, we're going to say local worms catch more fish. Buy 2, get the third free, plus a secret map of all the best fishing holes. So if you're a fisherman driving around and you see that, is that a bit more enticing? Even the guy with, the big old boat, he's pulling behind his truck and all the professional gear, even he would look at that and go, oh, really? He's a professional fisherman, but if he can get local worms because they're going to catch him more fish, he might just stop. So that's an example of a hook. Does that make sense? Last year I used a hook, and I basically, copywriting can be difficult. Here's what I did last year. So here's the story. Last August, I went and I thought, hey, I'm good at selling stuff. I'm going to, make this sales page. I made a sales page, total flunk, 0 sales. I made a sales video, 0. I tried a sales page again, meaning written copy. I tried to write my sales page, 0. And so I went and I started reading all this copywriting stuff, and I realized that I was sitting there trying to talk about how valuable my stuff was. I was trying to say, look, this is a good deal, and explain it with all this logical, reasoning. It doesn't work. So what I instead went and did is I was reading all about hooks, and the hook that I came up with that I think is a big part of why it sold, but the hook was something along the lines of how a normal Infusionsoft user, just like you, learned how to make Infusionsoft make tons of money in their spare time, or something like that. And so the difference is I can say, I'm an Infusionsoft expert, buy my stuff. But it's just not going to work. There's this kind of balance between logic and emotion when you're selling.